Hey everybody, what's going on? Randy here with Nerds Templar. This is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate AI League. It is Season 1, excuse me. It is the Blue Division in their set number 11 here. We are in the halfway point, the end of the halfway point, 10 and 11 both for whoever, depending on whether they had a bye or not yet. 10 and 11, the halfway points for all the fighters in every division. Blue and yellow, the last to go here. So here's blue, and after 10 sets, we've got Ganondorf number 1 at 8 and 1. Snake is 7 and 2. We got Cloud, Banjo and Kazooie, and Captain Falcon all at 7 and 3. Steve is 6 and 3 now, on a huge climb there for himself. 6 and 4 for the Inkling and Ness, rounding out the top 8. We've got Sora at 5 and 4. We got Roy at 5 and 4. We got Lucas and Palutena and Meta Knight at 5 and 5. Wario's 4 and 5 now. He's dropping a bit. Pacman's 4 and 6. Rob and Pichu are 3 and 6. Falco is 3 and 7. Fox is 2 and 7. Rosalina and Luma are 2 and 8. And Ken is still 0 and 9. The only guy in the entire league without a win yet. So we'll see if he can pick one up here. Maybe. Today we've got set 11. Pacman is taking on Sora to begin things. Palutena taking on Rob. Inkling versus Pichu. Captain Falcon versus Fox. Rosalina and Luma versus Steve. Lucas taking on Ken. And then we got Cloud versus Wario. Meta Knight versus Snake in an old school Green Division matchup that used to be bad but now isn't so bad. Banjo and Kazooie versus Roy. And finally Ness taking on Ganondorf. Number 1 from last season versus number 1 this season. See what happens there. That'll be interesting. Falco is on a bye, and Fox may just catch him, but they've already played each other, I'm pretty sure, and Falco won, just like last season. Anyway, let's begin things here. As always, an important one to start us off here. Pacman is 4 and 6. He's at the bottom of the middle, which is number 15, the very bottom of the middle, which is who's moving next season. So right now, if all was ended last set, he would have been moving on to the yellow division, which is a little more suited to him, I suppose, color-wise, and maybe even competition-wise, maybe. Who knows? But right now, Sora on a bit of a fall himself here, 5 and 4. I believe he had dropped to Lucas and Captain Falcon in the last 2. So he's struggling a little bit. Maybe he can pick a slightly easier one up here versus Pacman, but he's not exactly an easy opponent to face, even if he's 4 and 6. But 4 and 6, honestly, not too bad. He's only 5 and 5 is what gets you in right now. Palutena and Meta Knight and Lucas are 5 and 5s. They're all getting into the playoffs. 13 go. That's all that's getting in. Wario's 4 and 5, and he just misses it. So 4 and 6 Pacman, half a game behind him. Needs a win here, and that would be huge. Could actually bump him up into the playoffs. He's certainly in contention for them right now, as close as he is. Sora just trying to hang in there himself. Out of the top 8, 5 and 4 now. Number 9. Reason Pacman getting himself, well, he was able to get himself back to the stage because of that, but he does not, for some reason, grab the ledge, and he goes down. So Sora down a stock, he gets the Super Mushroom when he comes back, ties it up with that knockout there on Pacman. It was all even coming into the second stock here. Pacman's had some good wins, so I don't know. It's tough to say. He's beaten Ness. Beat Pichu to begin things. I think he won maybe 2 in a row, maybe not. No, he lost to Cloud in the second round, and then beat Rosalina and Luma. So he started 2 and 1. He wasn't looking too bad. 2 and 1, 3 and 1 after beating Ness. That's why we thought he was going to be pretty good. And right now, okay, Sora able to make it back to the map this time. So Pacman could be better. It's hard to say. Oh, both of them going down. Sora. What is happening with him right now? I don't know. A poison mushroom on him now. 1 stock each super mushroom for Pacman. Oh boy. 26 on Sora now. Another super mushroom. Wait, no, the Sora went back to normal size. Pacman now normal. More edge things. I don't know. Sora would win if he does what he just did last time. He stayed on for a millisecond longer than Pacman. But that's pretty sketchy way to win there. And it doesn't really say much for your gameplay if that's how you got to do it, right? I want to win more outrightwardly. Uh-oh, Poison Mushroom on Pacman. It's going to allow Sora at least to maybe bring this one back. I don't know if it'll do a lot more. Pacman only took his first hit during that. 19% right now. 67 on Sora. Actually looking like we might have ourselves a little bit of an upset. 5 and 6. Sora's been looking amazing until these last few matches, really. So, yeah, this is crazy. Could not... It might not be very good. Sora's going to actually move to 5 and 5 if he loses here. Tied it up though, percent-wise. A little bit of a comeback. And he took a slight percent lead. Not that it matters a bunch at this point. The Poison Mushroom matters a lot more. Pacman, look out. He's back to normal from that super. And it doesn't matter. Sora coming away with the victory. A hard-fought one, a close one. Yeah, much closer than you probably wanted to be. But again, that would have moved Pacman to 5 and 6. So, you know, really that's not much of a different record, right? Now it is 4 and 7 Pacman and a 6 and 4 Sora, which may bump him back into the top 8. We'll see how everyone else does today. Yeah, right now I would say like the set 11 to set like 15, 16, this the 3/4 point. This is when a lot of decisive matches are going to be played here. People are going to be on their last leg for playoffs. People are going to be vying for maybe a solid position going into the final matchups, where they maybe clinch playoffs at that point. We're looking at Ganondorf, Snake, Cloud and Banjo, and Captain Falcon, maybe even right here. So even the guys at the bottom, Palutena is 5 and 5 right now. That's not the bottom. That's the middle. That's playoff. Good enough for playoffs right now. Will it be? If she goes to 5 and 6, I don't know. Actually, that's going to be an interesting question. 5 and 6, actually, I take it back. It's probably going to either way be good enough, but it depends on if she's one of those 5 and 6s or not. Don't know how she did against. But it doesn't matter. Pacman losing doesn't move him to 5 and 6. So they're the Palutena, Lucas, and Meta Knight are all a little more solid in their spots because of that loss there. Sora winning not gonna allow them to move too much farther up though. An easy-ish knockout on Rob there, mostly because maybe a Super Mushroom helping out Palutena with the lead right now. Rob 3 and 6 right now in the bottom 6. He's staying here in this division, but not really one that would want to. Right, again, the top 8 staying is a good thing. The bottom 6 staying is kind of a bad thing. Obviously, it didn't do well, so chances are you may not do well again next season, and thus may get stuck in that division. That's why you want to try to work your way into that middle point. You can get out at least to get a breath of fresh air. Rob, though, kind of bringing it back to even. He was a little under 50% before Palutena came back to stock each here. Against not much of a difference in the record, especially with a Rob win. Rob winning would take him to 4 and 6. 4 and 6. Whoa. Nice move there. Not going to do it. Rob's up B is just insane. So both of them back to the stage, but 99 on Rob. He does not get the Super Mushroom. Palutena back to normal because of it. Yeah, he could end up 4 and 6, which would make Palutena 5 and 6. Or again, just like we saw, 6 and 5 and 3 and 7. Quite a difference there. And that's why a match like this is so important. The underdog winning brings everything in the division so much closer. Would have happened the same way if Sora would have lost. Same with if Roy at 5 and 4 loses. There goes Palutena for her second stock. Rob with a a huge knockout at 60%. I thought she was at maybe 146 on Rob. That'll do it. And they're 110%. Here we go. For all the star fruits on the tree. Uh-oh. Rob's up B is better than Palutena's, I would venture to guess. So you probably have a slight advantage on those edge fights. 61 to 30 right now. He also has the percent advantage, and it's starting to gather. Oh, he just pulled a poison mushroom though. 78 to 30. Ew, and a super mushroom from Palutena. Is that the end of the comeback for Rob? Or I guess he was kind of ahead, so not really a comeback. But he was about to win this thing. Still can. Palutena knocked off the side there. Now Rob has a super mushroom. That could do it. 100 on Palutena. One hit. One hit. Rob grabs her. And no, not enough. Not enough. 112, 76. Super mushroom on the left side of the stage. Off of it. That one gets it. 120 to 88. Poison mushroom on Rob. And that is Palutena's victory. The swift and decisive strike there to end it. That's what you need to do. Don't allow a dodge to come in after they realize, oh, I just pulled a poison mushroom. Because the CPU don't know the difference between the colors. That's why they get the poison mushroom so often, fortunately. But hey, it's part of the fun, I suppose, right? They all do the same thing, which makes it even. Palutena with the win there, 6 and 5, and a little better. Actually looking decent. She's kind of hover around that middle point, a little higher up, a little lower down. So that's good for her, 6 and 5. And then unfortunately, Rob 3 and 7, kind of falling, getting closer and closer to being eliminated from the playoff contention here. And that again was a Rob that was 12 and 8, 4th place last season in this division, went to the playoffs. We've mentioned it several times at this point, but yeah, he did beat Ganondorf there, so that's how, I mean, he did decent in the playoffs, losing to Kirby after that. It was one of our core semi-finalists, one of the last 4 remaining in the league in the playoffs. Due to that, not that match, the one after that, I suppose, Kirby had one more win after that. Here we got a good Inkling, 6 and 4, looking strong, and 3 good matches for our mid-card startup. So, I mean, really, maybe some slightly less good matches to follow these next 3, but then just incredible matches afterward. If these are the first 3 we have, the last 4 are going to be just amazing. Inkling getting the first knockout on Pichu, not great here for him. Poison mushroom on Inkling, can he return? Nope. 48 right now on Inkling. 25 already on Pichu's second. Not good. Inkling 6 and 4. Pichu's 3 and 6 like Rob. Needs to win here and he'll be doing okay at 4 and 6. That's just fine. 3 and 7, not a great spot to be. Again, he's had his bye already, so he is a match below. This is his halfway point. Inkling already there. Okay, Pichu, that is, able to get the knockout. 40% on him. Not too bad. Another poison mushroom on Inkling, though. Ooh. Not good. Could bring it back for Pichu, not quite. Back to normal size for Inkling. Super size now from that mushroom. Obviously. Oh man, 89. Pichu taking tons of damage and then being launched into a poison mushroom. And then off the stage. 25 only on Inkling whenever Pichu came back with that last stock, that is. Inkling 46 now on the second. Pichu doing everything he can to try to bring it back to even. No luck yet. Poison mushroom not going to help. Definitely. It's 22 now on Inkling. 23 on Pichu. 40 now, though, after that strike, and that's a super size Inkling. Back to normal. Some decent damage on Pichu. He's got to be careful here. He needs the knockout. Ooh. Nice explosion. Inkling starting to pull away with it. That's a poison mushroom for Inkling, though. Still on the attack, however. Not taking much of any damage. 118 to 89 right now. That's extra stock on Inkling, though, even though it has more percent. No problem when you have Pichu up to 106 now on his last stock. Game? Yes. That'll do it. Inkling. Strong showing there from the number 7 rank. Climbing their way the entire up to number 7. Entire way up to 7. Doing amazing right now. And that is another win. That's a 7-4. That is a very strong record to have right now in any division. But yeah, it looks pretty good here in the blue. Pichu's 3-7, still one more shot maybe. 3-8 would probably do it for him. All right, and here we've got, you know, we've have some actual, you know, decent fighters in all the matches. So you're gonna see somebody pretty good in all of them. Here we got Captain Falcon, 7-3 right now. Number 5, number 2 last season at 13-7. So he's looking to maybe do the same or better, maybe. The way it's looking right now, he could. Supersized Fox, not gonna do much. Old school blue matchup. Fox just barely remaining last season here because Falco defeated the Ice Climbers in the last match. That was what kept Fox in the division, in fact. And wait a second, did he? Nope. Captain Falcon able to make it back, but he does have a percent lead. Fox, that is 41 to 82, half of Captain Falcon's for a moment there. Fox again right now 2-7. Done probably, but again, if he can get to 3-7, 4-7, 5-7, that's still in it. So yeah, especially if you can beat someone like Captain Falcon, that's kind of crazy. But we'll see. We'll see. Of course, yeah, they had 2 matches last season. Supersized Fox. Ooh, man, gets the first knockout. He's only at 60%. That is very interesting. He's got, yeah, quite a lot of room to breathe now because of that. And if you, I know you're curious, you probably assumed that Captain Falcon beat Fox both times, at least once, right? No, Fox actually beat Captain Falcon twice last season. So, yeah, it wouldn't be, that's crazy for one, because Fox only had 10 wins. He did make the playoffs, although, because with 10 was enough. So that's also kind of crazy to think Fox was in the playoffs. Falco as well, of course, who's on a bye. He was 12-8 like Rob. All of them doing horribly this season, so maybe that's just because of all the new competitors. They are technically the lowest that remained in the division, so that's why we might be seeing that right now. Fox, of course, losing to Donkey Kong in the first round of the Season 0 playoffs. Tough fighter to go up against to begin things. Captain Falcon finally getting that first stock off of Fox. He's only taken 31%, luckily for him. Super size actually puts him back in the percent lead. Well, puts him in the percent lead. I think it might have been the first one he had. Oh man, crazy moves there. Oh, and there goes Fox again. That was nuts. A crazy combination of moves and dodges and whatnot results in another Fox knockout. So 39 on Captain Falcon second, and now all of a sudden it's looking really good for the favorite. Unless, yeah, no, I don't know what Fox is going to be doing here. Poison mushroom for him. Got a lot of work to do. Certainly possible, but Captain Falcon going to feel good about finally picking up a victory over somebody who has basically always had a lower record than him. And also may have been the first loss that Captain Falcon took last season, now that I think about it. see what we got here. Captain on a bye. Captain. Oh, it was not, but it was the second one. Rob and Fox. Rob and then Fox right afterward beat Captain Falcon last season. After about 7 matches in a bye. 6 matches in a bye, maybe. But there it is, Captain Falcon finishing off Fox without much of a flaw. Only in the beginning there. And that moves him to a very, very good 8-3 record. I don't think he'll be going anywhere anytime soon. That may almost be like decent enough to almost solidify playoffs for yourself. Just like 3-8 would probably be out of playoffs for sure. Not quite there yet, statistically speaking. Still possible to get out to lose that spot, I think. But soon we might see some people clinching, and it would be people like Captain Falcon at the 8-3 or higher, of course. Fox now, he's 2-8. He would be that 3-8 if he even gets a win next time, but he's 2-8 now after his halfway point. All right, and it's always interesting now to see how Steve's gonna do. 6-3 Steve. Used to be he was 0-2. He had a bye. He was then 1-2, 1-3, 2-3. Where are you, Steve? Yeah, 2-3. And then he went. That was the beginning of his run after he was 1-3, 2-3, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3, and now 6-3. Steve. Crazy, taking on the 2-8 Luma, Rosalina and Luma. Both new to the league. But Steve, yeah, definitely proving his worth here. Out of the middle, into the top 8. He's number 6, yeah, number 6. By himself at 6-3. This is his halfway point. Having his bye already. Yeah, we'll be checking out, as we did in the red and the green, we'll be looking at the Steve just grabbing some dirt nonchalantly as Rosalina just does nothing over on the other side. It's supersized now for her. We're looking at the playoff picture after this set here, just like we did in the last 2 divisions. And after yellow, we're going to look at them all, side by side. Everyone's done with 11. Next set. Next division set, that is, tomorrow. And then also for the next red division, in the beginning of that, set 12, we'll also take a quick look at it, just so everyone, those who didn't stay for the end of the yellow set, will be able to see kind of where everyone is. Again, matched up next to each other, we'll get a look at maybe where people will fall. We will have like where people might fall if all of the favorites would get through the second round after their bye. And wow, okay, Rosalina loses her second stock after quickly losing her first, then returns the favor on Steve. But it's 1-2. Steve handling this quite easily, as he may have expected, but maybe not something we would have expected back in the beginning, of course. Rosalina didn't pick up her first win until that was set 5. She was 0-4, finally got one. No bye for her yet. But she's done, unfortunately, I would say. 8 losses already. Yeah, looks like she's going to definitely take one here. Still a slight chance, but yeah. Not really. Steve coming down with the anvil. Not enough. 97 Super Steve. Nope. 45 on him. Second stock still. No problem at all. So our 5th match, 6th one coming up. These are the worst 2. And they might be, even though they have decent fighters in them, such as Steve here. Lucas next. The more important match for Lucas, though, at 5-5 to win his. Because again, it's against an easy opponent, and the winless Ken. You definitely don't want to lose to him. Steve, okay, closing it out there. 69 left on his only on his second stock. not much damage taken. GG. And definitely Rosalina and Luma, I would say out. We'll see if it's actually the case. I don't think it is, because I don't believe that 9 losses would really be out. 11 and 9 would definitely not be out, I would say. But she is super close. She's like 2 losses away from actually being eliminated. Same with Ken. And Steve doing fantastic at 7 and 3 now. Now, I don't think it actually happens all that often that we're at the 6th match here, and all the favorites have actually won so far. But normally doesn't happen. Tend to have one, or at least one, maybe 2 upsets by now. Just the ones that are close in record at the top. But wow, Lucas, Ken giving Lucas an immediate advantage there. Lucas didn't have to do much to knock him far enough away, I suppose. Poison Mushroom on Lucas. He's only got 14 on him, though. Ken gonna need to figure out some way to come back from this. Super Mushroom will help. Oh, man. Yeah, Lucas, lucky he blocked that. That might have hurt pretty bad. 31 only, though, right now. 28 on Ken's second, so he's about, yeah. Basically, think of this as Ken starting off with 1 less stock is pretty much what happened here. Horrible way for the 0-9 to begin. 5 and 5 Lucas, though, yeah, really wants this victory, really needs it. Here last season, he was number 3, 13 and 7, really good record to have there. But he, of course, didn't get a bye, and he did win his first round against Olimar in the playoffs. And then he beat Peach, which was a very close matchup, because he, in fact, ended up being the highest seed coming out of the first round. So he played the lowest of the byes in Peach and beat her, go to the quarterfinal, and he then actually beat Bowser, who was the best in the league. So that was insane. Unfortunately, then in the semi, losing to King DDD, but what a run he had last season, and another pretty easy knockout on Ken, 79% only on his first. And it looks like not going to be a flawless. Ken gets a Super Mushroom and then a nicely placed uppercut, but still a whole stock advantage on Lucas, who dodges that Poison Mushroom. Lucky for him, because a few mushrooms going not your way can certainly turn things around rather quickly. Maybe not as quickly as a good Pokeball will, but yeah, I have some ideas for next season. If you guys have any like fun settings for a season, let me know in the comments. Let me know who you think is always going to win the upcoming sets. We always have them in the description and at the end of the videos. And check out who's going to fight next in this division and who's fighting next, like tomorrow. Which again, here it'll be the yellow set 11. Oh, wow! Luke is blocking those super-sized Ken attacks, and that may have saved him that stock. Ken would have brought that back to about even if he would have got it. And that's what I was saying. Lucas, another Poison Mushroom, and Ken is so close to being able to bring it back. Not quite, but very close now, even without the Super Mushroom. 90 on Lucas's second. And, oh, he's tossed into a Super Mushroom. That's not good for Ken. Ken at 90%. He's eliminated. That'll do it. For 105 on Lucas on a second stock there. Pretty handily still won that then. Just had a little bit of a concerning run of mushrooms, that's all. But he's good, he's good. He's 6 and 5. You just, when you're down you're in the middle there, it's sketchy whenever you get that close to losing, right? You don't want it to be that close against the 0 and 9 Ken. 0 and 10 Ken. 0 and 10 is the Ken. And actually, with 10 losses, he's almost actually eliminated from playoffs. But 10 will still probably be okay. And, the way things are, it probably couldn't happen if we really looked at the matchups. But, of course, it could be possible that with 11 or 12 losses, you could still get in at this point. But right now, we start our best 4, and this is a good one. We're at the point right now, halfway through the season, where I feel like we've seen everybody basically, even the good people, lose some matches. So we know that it's It's just possible. Even though, like, not just saying that everyone has at least one loss, which is the case in this division, but just that we've pretty much seen those guys, even though the best of them, lose or come, you know, have really close matches against fighters maybe they shouldn't have. Just showing, again, the parity, you may call it. Or, oh, Cloud does this so often. Just off the side of the stage himself. Unfortunately for him, he's doing the same thing that Ken did for Lucas last match, but it's the opposite because he's the favorite here. Oh man, that Super Mushroom will help him, evening things back up against the 4 and 5 Wario here. Cloud 7 and 3, third place. Would be a bad one to lose. Again, all the favorites winning means all the top fighters are winning right now, meaning that everybody in the top is pulling away from the rest of the division. And Cloud needs to stick with that, right? Or, you look at it on the other side of things, Wario needs to certainly stick with it because he's 4 and 5. If he loses here, he's going to be part of that group that's falling away from the top. And you don't want that, do you? Actually, in fact, this is his fourth. I mean, this is his halfway point, and he can end up 4 and 6, which is not where you want to be at all. But like we've been saying, 5 and 5 at the 500, 5 and 5 at the 500 point. Be 500 at the 500 point. The halfway point, that is. So then, you know, you don't have to make any kind of crazy run to get back into the playoff contention because 500, 5 and 5, 10 and 10 should be good at the end of the season. We shall see, though. Should be good in every division, but it might slightly differ. There's certainly going to be, I would say, at least one division. I don't know which I'm thinking of, but at least one. Probably green. Maybe blue as well here, the way it's looking, that will probably allow in 9 and 11s. It's what went in last season. We had 1 9 and 11 Ice Climbers, and they did make it in. They were the very last seed. The only one that could have made it in. There's only 1 9 11 that could make it. Luckily, they were the only one for themselves, at least. Cloud's actually down a stock right now. They were going at each other, and now Cloud able to tie it up again. And with 0-0, well, 3-0, 1 stock each. Wario putting on a fight right now. Putting up a fight, I suppose. Sora Cloud is small. Oh, Cloud just jumped off the side of the stage again. Luckily for him, he didn't jump far enough that he couldn't make it back, which he tends to do, and that's just unfortunate for him. Other than that, he tends to be very strong, and with a Super Mushroom, that might be the end of Wario. He's lucky he didn't get caught in that second flurry of blows, but now he's got a Poison Mushroom, and if Cloud lands anything, Wario may be done. Oh, he's back to regular. Too bad for him, it wasn't back to normal naturally, and then a Super Mushroom to follow that. Oh, Cloud going for everything on the side, and he's going to do it even though Wario hit him. Cloud gets the win. Wario does not make it back. Wow. Wario, so close, man. So close. 4 and 6, though. He's still fine. I mean, 4 and 6, yeah, we've already said 4 and 6 is okay. You're still probably in the, because of the losses happening, you're still probably in that middle pack. And maybe Wario, at this point, I don't know, maybe he'd like to move to the yellow and start changing things up even more. Because right now, again, he's in this with Ganondorf, with Snake, with Meta Knight, who all from Meta Knight and Snake, who were worse than him last season, who are now doing better than him. But just get away from these other green folk who from last season, the last season where they moved from that division, including him. Start afresh in the yellow, maybe by himself, but Meta Knight might be coming with him the way things are looking. But yeah, so 4 and 6 for him. Cloud is 8 and 3 though. And again, like we were saying, one of those sketchier wins. And here, just like we were talking about the 2 low ones from last season in the green, the 3 and 17 Meta Knight and the 2 and 18 Snake, who are now the 5 and 5 Meta Knight and the 7 and 2 Snake. I don't even know what to think about that. That's a complete turnaround right now. If he ends up 18 and 2, I don't know. Well, that's not a good start here. The level 9 CPU should not be getting stuck underneath real stages. This is not a custom if it was a custom one, I can kind of understand that. But why again stuck underneath of Dreamland, our spring-themed stage here? Again, that's what I was mentioning earlier. If you have any kind of like cool themes for a season, we do one crazy. We're gonna try to do like a crazy one and then a more normal one, which is what this is. This is the more normal one for us. But we're gonna go more normal than this next time. I guess I'm more looking for if you have any ideas for like some crazier ones. But there's a potential we can fit some other kind of things in. So just any ideas you have, let me know, because there's other things to come in the future for Super Smash Bros. AI. Hopefully also with regular Super Smash Bros. If we can get our own league going, I would really, really love to do that, guys. So also let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. Like, subscribe, follow us, you know, keep joining in, know what's going on. You can chill on our live streams, kind of hang out just to stay in touch. And join the Discord if you like to stay in touch that way. Try to help maybe get that community going a bit. I don't really need to get it going, but again, nice way to be notified about things like that if we do start leagues of Super Smash Bros. Or Pokemon, which is the goal, both of those. Right now, we were Meta Knight was actually off to a really, really nice start because of that Snake Club. 87 on him, though, gets the knockout on Meta Knight and bringing this back really quickly with that Super Mushroom he has right now. And yes, this is a matchup from last season. Meta Knight defeated him the first time around. Yeah, because that was the big thing. I'm pretty sure that maybe neither of them had a win yet. And so, oh no, it was Snake beating Meta Knight the first time. Meta Knight just ended up above him in record eventually. And then the next time around, it was Meta Knight defeating Snake. So they are 1-1. But right now, it's pretty different in record. So it would be a pretty big upset for Meta Knight to take this. But the Super Mushroom will definitely help it. He's up to 80 now, which is where Snake was when he got the knockout on Meta Knight to bring it to even stock. But Snake's been doing... Oh no, he went back to normal size and then picked up a Poison Mushroom. Big turnaround. Snake's on his last right now. 42%, 43%, 109 on Meta Knight. This is crazy. This would be a crazy victory. Good victory for Meta Knight. This would be our first upset of the day. Wario coming so close. And again, that shows he's, you know, potentially going to stay up here. This is looking really good for Meta Knight either way. Even if he somehow loses this, but I don't think he will at this point. Oh, nice knockout there. Supersized Snake. I spoke way too soon. 63 on Snake. Supersized. And the only reason it is really maybe this close is because of that one fall he had in the beginning. But hey, part of the game. Horrible CPU. 29 to 63. Meta Knight slowly losing any lead he had here. Which, again, may just show that Snake would have perhaps won this if it wasn't for that. About to bring it back to even. Just did it, pretty much. 71. Meta Knight's 89 on Snake. Poison Mushroom for Snake. That could do it, Meta Knight. And he gets the one hit he needs. He gets two, but not the one he needs. To 103, Meta Knight's favor again. Oh no, that up rocket. What a shot by Snake, but going for all of it at the end there. Misses and just jumps straight off the map. I guess he was expecting that rocket to land and Meta Knight to go launching off the stage. And that's not what happened though. Meta Knight won. Wow. So head to head, overall that means Meta Knight's up 2-1. Of course, this season only one matchup per fighter, per opponent. You know, so this is the only time they're fighting unless they somehow meet, or they might meet in the playoffs. But right now, 2-1 for Meta Knight, and he's now up to 6-5, and that drops Snake down to 7-3. Very interesting, leaving that second place door open for a lot of people: Cloud, Banjo and Kazooie, and Captain Falcon. Two of those already now 8-3. And we may see Banjo and Kazooie getting there next. Of course, Snake shouldn't worry too much about 7-3. I mean, you're gonna drop a couple matches. It's just bound to happen. You're gonna have some matches like he did. You fell off the side of the stage in the beginning, so you just take the L there and move on. It's gonna happen. You already padded your record with all those wins. Probably fine, but again, the more you get, the better your odds are, because the better your matchups will be in the playoffs. The higher your record. So you get first or second place, you're getting that bye. First, second, or third, that is, you're getting that bye. And then after that, you're coming back to face somebody that's ranked coming from the other playoff, not one of the first top two that won, but you're playing one of the bottom three that came from that first round of playoffs. And again, once you get into out of the divisional playoff rounds, which are the first two, and you're into the whole league playoffs, and the better your record, the higher your standing will be. Your standings will be for that rank. So yeah, all the wins definitely matter, but hey, you can drop them. It's not the end of the world for him. And right now, Banjo and Kazooie, yeah, he's one of the 7-3s looking to take that spot. Got the knockout relatively early on Roy, but Roy can bring it back 64 on Banjo right now. Roy wants to bring it back 5-4 on him right now. Doing fine. He's looking like he's going to make the playoffs. 5-5 is not amazing, but that's his halfway point after this. 6-4 would look good. 6-4, probably not going to quite get you in yet because Inkling won. Ness is up next, so it could get you in, depending on how Ness does. Sora won, though, so already beating Roy. That doesn't get Roy into the top 8, but it could get Sora in if Ness loses Roy to number 9, maybe. Right now, those little moves don't mean all that much, but the wins, again, they do. And especially a win against somebody like Banjo, who's got, 2 games ahead of you? Not even. 2.5, I guess. Nice supersized knockout for Roy, but he's at 86 already on his second. Banjo, a decent lead here. Favorite. Struggled recently. Had some bad matches against somebody. Had some wins, I guess, recently, but he did lose to Sora and Steve and Ganondorf, sort of in the middle. Those are his 3, I guess, right there. Tough opponents. Roy, not exactly easy here. He did get the knockout, though. Roy, high percent. Now he's 34, 36, 40, 43 on his last stock. Banjo and Kazooie looking to make the final run here to finish this thing off. 60, 73 on their second. No problem with the Poison Mushroom on Roy. They may just take it right now. Pretty commanding victory. Great one to have when you're in the top. He's number 4 in the top 5 there. Showing their gusto. In the top 5 is 7 wins or the 8-win Ganondorf. That's what we got right now in the top. So he's going to make the top. It's going to be all 8 wins, no matter what Ganondorf does or more, except then the last one, I guess. Actually, yeah, we have 7 win for Snake. I guess that would be the one. 7-3 Snake or Steve, making that number 5 spot. Banjo and Kazooie finishing off Roy in a pretty easy one. I don't know what that says for Roy. It's still, again, both new to the league, slightly early still, to really know how they're going to end up faring. Anyone's really going to end up faring. Honestly, we're going to have to go through a couple seasons, even for the ones who've gone through a season already, to know exactly how things are going to start really knowing how things are going to fall. I mean, we can kind of guess. I think our guessing, everyone's guessing, will get a little better as we go. The more you watch, the more you know. There's a win for Banjo. Roy is now, unfortunately, 5-5, but whatever, I guess. You can bounce back from that. Banjo, 8-3. And now, suddenly, Snake dropping to 7-3. All the 7-3s going to 8-3. They are now looking at Mr. 8-1 Ganondorf, trying to catch him now. He loses, and he's in a tough one, obviously, here against Ness. The Super Mushroom will help him to start things off, maybe. Unless Ness just continues to attack. Look out, Ness! Oh no. He was stunned or something there. He's able to, oh, look out, again. Fiery heel kick doesn't hit him. Poison Mushroom on Ganondorf. Tied up in stock, in percent right now, and stock. Oh, PK, super PK fires from supersized Ness. Ganondorf not really deterred though. Got a little bit of a stuck situation happening here. Okay, tends to happen a lot right there. Yes, alright, back to the map. 98 to 84. Huge win for him it would be. 6-4 Ness trying to come back where he was last season. A lot. Oh man, he is lucky that he. Nope, that's gonna do it. Yep. Ow. Ness stunned again. He's done. Trying to make it back. If he loses here, he's already lost as many matches as he did last season. But kind of to be expected with new fighters in the divisions. It's kind of I just expected with all the more variety. Everyone's probably going to do a bit worse maybe than last season, or they may get lucky and they won't. But I think it's, just the majority will probably do slightly worse or a lot worse, as we've seen a lot of them do. Because again, if you're in the bottom of the division, not like Ness, but with some of the others, that Falco, Fox, Rob. Ooh, nice knockout by Ness. But he's at 53 right now. He needs a little bit more with that super mushroom he just grabbed as Ganondorf comes back to stock each. We see them now at the very bottom because they were at the bottom of the ones who stayed even though they made the playoffs. Now, since they were the worst that stayed, who knows how everyone else that came into the division is going to do. We see all the ones from the green that moved here doing better than them. Most that came into the league newly doing better than them, and that's just, it's just how it goes, I guess. That's why it's Ness at, I think that's why we have Ness at 6-4, Ganondorf getting the knockout. He's at 52% on his second stock. Ness still has a chance to bring it back and do it. But it's looking fantastic. Ganondorf again from the green. Just incredible season this season for him at 8-1. What do you even do? So both of them, of course, making the playoffs, and Ness had a bye. And we already talked about Ganondorf losing to Rob in the beginning. They didn't fight yet this season. Can't wait for that to happen. That'll be interesting enough. But then, yeah, we had Ness defeating, having his bye, and then losing to Pikachu, that is. So he didn't defeat anybody yet. He lost to Pikachu. He was the first to go down to Pikachu. Pikachu was on a nice run, just like Lucas. Ness does get a quick-ish knockout here on Ganondorf to bring things back to about even, but a big hit from Big Ganondorf takes him to 40% all of a sudden. He needs to return that. He's going to have a shot here because, yeah, Ganondorf, as soon as your percent is there, you're basically in knockout range. 65, 77 from 2 hits there on Ness now. Poison Mushroom on Ganondorf at 39%, though. Can Ness do anything with that? Wow, that was a huge launch for Ness, who's now huge himself. Well, it'll definitely help him not get knocked out, but he's going to need more than defensive play. Oh, that's going to do it. He can't make it back to the map. And Ganondorf, just like that, going to win it. Okay. That's 9-1 for Ganondorf. He is almost as good as King DDD. He is loving not being in the green division anymore. And he probably hopes he never has to go anywhere ever again. And if he continues to play like this, he won't. Because he's at the very top. He won't be going anywhere anytime soon at that point. Ness, now, perhaps not in the top 8 anymore at 6-5. Ganondorf 9-1. Ness 6-5. We'll see where he ends up now. He may be moving next season based on how things are looking. We'll find out. All right. That was a crazy one. We have a lot of changes here. Ganondorf, though, is not one that changed. He's still top 9-1 now. We got 8-3s. Cloud, Banjo, and Captain Falcon, just like before, 7-3s, all winning. Snake now down to 5th place, 7-3. He beat the 7-3 Steve, so Steve remaining in 6th, but he's happy with that. He's actually just half a game away from that 2nd place tie. That's just fine there. Inkling 1 game away from that at 7-4 by herself. And finally, 8th place, Sora by himself at 6-4. Just making it back in barely, back into the top 8 for himself. Then we got Ness Lucas, Palutena, and Meta Knight at 6 and 5. So the majority of that middle point at 6 and 5 right now. Ness beat Lucas and Palutena. Lucas beat Palutena, and Palutena beat Meta Knight. So they're in that order still for a reason. 5 and 5 Roy is the last playoff contender right now if all were to end. So 5 and 5 is what you need to be alive. 4 and 6 Wario is out still, just like he was in 14th place. Pacman still, everybody down here in the same spot they were. Pacman 4 and 7 because they all lost except Falco on a bye. So 4 and 6 Wario, 4 and 7 Pacman, 3 and 7 Rob, Pichu, and Falco, 2 and 8 Fox, 2 and 9 Rosalina and Luma, and 0 and 10 Ken. Not the good. So that's where things stand right now. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. So if all things were to end, of course, division-wise for the playoffs, we're looking at Ganondorf, Cloud, and Banjo taking those buys, but that's pretty much arbitrary for the top two there, or for the top two of the three that are at 8 and 3, because it could be Captain Falcon. By the time we end things, those three will have had fights against each other, so we'll know for sure who is better than who, at least in the regular season, for rank purposes. But yeah, it's interesting. None of those three have played each other yet, so those are some good matchups we have left to go. But either way, two of those three right now would have been making it in, and the next one out would be the top rank in the first round of playoffs, so seed 4 overall. And that would, of course, right now, just as we have it, it would be Captain Falcon. And we got, and then it would be down the whole way to to Roy, like we said. So that's who Captain Falcon would be fighting against. Roy versus Captain Falcon. We'd have Snake at 7 and 3, taking on the 6 and 5 Meta Knight again, just like they did. Steve at 7 and 3 would be up against 6 and 5 Palutena. And Inkling at 7 and 4 would have Lucas at 6 and 5, and Sora at 6 and 4 would have Ness at 6 and 5 right now. Just the way that it all falls. And again, 3 buys, 5 matchups there. That'll leave 8 fighters. That's 4 more rounds for the divisional playoffs there to go, and that'll leave 4 fighters per division, which takes us then into the 16 fighter end of the playoffs, consisting of that 8 fighter, or 8 match round, and then the semifinal in the quarterfinal, then the semifinal, and finally the final. And it could be anybody. They're just going to be in there based on their records, thrown into that final division or interdivisional playoff bracket. There's just going to be one bracket that goes into play whenever the interdivisional matchups start, the entire league playoffs. After those first 2 rounds of division play, all the records, wherever you would stand, that's where you fall. That's where you're thrown into the bracket, and you just do however you do from there. So it could be anybody against anybody at the end. What we got coming up then for the yellow in the final set 11 for us here to finish off the halfway point. We got Sephiroth taking on Game & Watch, Samus versus Sonic, Zero Suit Samus versus Richter, Wii Fit Trainer taking on Robin, Duck Hunt versus Pikachu, Daisy up against Joker, me Swordfighter taking on Pokemon Trainer, Ice Climbers versus Isabelle, Min Min up against Olimar, and finally Ridley versus Incineroar. And Ike, quite high up there in the division, 7 and 3, is on a bye. So, and then for these guys, for set 12, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be an important one. Again, we've got Roy at 5 and 5. He's up against this 8 and 3 Captain Falcon now. And we got Falco needing a win for himself at 3 and 7, up against Pichu at 3 and 7. They both really need that win. So somebody's going to get it, somebody won't. That's why it's that match right there, number 2. And then we've got Rob at 3 and 6. He's got to go up against the 6 and 4 Inkling, so we'll see if he can maybe manage that. Inkling could climb even higher. Rob could maybe stop the bleeding and maybe make it back to where he was last season. Who knows if he has any shot. Fox then at same thing at 2 and 8, even worse, up against the 6 and 5 Lucas. And then we got the 4 and 6 Wario needing win for himself against the Rosalina and Luma at 2 and 9, who are probably already definitely out. And that's the win that Wario really needs to get there for sure. Ken then, in our 6th match, that is our worst of them, Ken 0 and 10 up against Pacman, who again needs this win for himself because he's only 4 and 7, just like Wario, half a match behind Wario. So both of them need to pick up those wins when they can, while they can. And then we got our top 4, which is going to be amazing. It's Ganondorf at 9 and 1 against the 6 and 5 Palutena. That's going to be a tough one for her. Then we've got Steve at 7 and 3, and he's taking on the 6 and 5 Ness. Can Ness bounce back in that really difficult matchup? And then somehow this isn't the last one. Sora 6 and 4 taking on the 8 and 3 Cloud. That's going to be amazing, but even better, we've got that 7 and 3 Snake taking on that 8 and 3 Banjo and Kazooie. That is going to decide a decent bit for that top 5, I would say. Meta Knight at 6 and 5 in the middle is on a bye, so that might actually start swapping some things around too, depending on who wins and who loses around him. That middle, very contentious in this division right now. The top is kind of climbing higher, and the middle is kind of going lower. So 7+ wins right now, looking pretty good, but 7 doesn't quite get you there. 8+ certainly does. They're getting very solid in this division, especially with the 0 and 10, the 2 and 9, the 2 and 8. Yeah, Ken basically almost out of it already. He's going to need pretty much to just win out. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Join me in the next one, the last set for set 11, Yellow Division. Then we'll be getting into set 13 for the rest of the week. Until then, I'm Randy with Nerds Templar. Check out the other stuff on the channel. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate AI League. Peace out.